This weekend was supposed to be one of the big game weeks. This game week was meant to be one of the game weeks that smashed it out. And between all the Celtic stacks I've got, as well as all the other cards I've got across world football, the fixtures all looked good. I had some lovely pieces and some lovely puzzles. But looking now back in hindsight, the game week was just never going to happen for me with some of the actual real world football, the way things actually developed. And, it's been a long time since I've had a game week where I look at it and I'm thinking, I had a winning team in there and I didn't put it together. This game week is one of those game weeks, and there's some SO5 lessons that I need to remind myself of that I thought would be great to do on camera. Of course, I'm very frustrated about my team, so this is mainly, for me personally, just a moan, getting off my chest kind of thing, so I hope you enjoy, you see me going through some agony, as well as reminding myself of some good old SO5 decision-making kind of lessons that, I've picked up along the way as well. At any point in the video today, if you do laugh, you learn, you like something or whatever, please do like and subscribe to the channel, share and retweet, all that good stuff, guys. And yeah, it basically starts and finishes with the goalkeepers. As you guys will remember, if you caught the live stream with me and Harry Trades, which is every Friday at 1 o'clock UK time, my three goalkeepers, my three main goalkeepers that I prioritise every weekend when they're available, my big power teams, my priority teams, was Skorupski, who played on Friday night, and he picked up the herpes. He picked up the herpes of the Friday night curse. If you go and check out the penalty he gave away, VAR stepped in for it, and it was a very touch and go decision, if you ask me. Of course, I'm very biased, but and you know what? Poor Lucas Skorupski here. He got a yellow card, which is -3 points. Obviously, an additional -6 for the goals he's conceded and then the negative decisive. So, a game that I thought was going to be low scoring. Couldn't see Verona scoring in this match at all whatsoever. And I thought this would be a safe, clean sheet. But with the team being away from home, you would expect Verona to get a few shots or something and he would have some saves to make. But unfortunately, it kind of was there. The prediction for the game was sort of correct, but the dodgy penalty going against him so early in the game also wrecks my chances of the goalkeeper on SO5 terms anyway. But the game state of the match then totally changes, and his score just, was ruined. But that would then set the tone for Saturday, where not only did we have rare David Marshall, but super rare David Marshall, away to St Johnstone, who just sacked Callum Davidson, probably the best manager in the club's history on paper for trophies won, etc. Away to Hibs, or home to Hibs, I beg your pardon, who, basically I didn't see 3 goals getting conceded in this game. 3 goals were not conceded in this game, but if you look at the goal St Johnstone scored, David Marshall very firmly deserved his error led to goal. Another herpes, another goal, another negative decisive. There was nowhere to turn. Now, he did have actually a decent bit of AA, and if you watch the game and you listen to people afterwards, he's been peltered for this match, but he did actually pick up 11 points. So if he didn't get the error led to goal, that would have been an additional 20 points. He would have actually scored credibly well, but the same was true for David Soria. Even though he lost his clean sheet, he was punching about 45, 50 points in right towards the end of the game. Mallorca scored their third. Mallorca at home, guys, it became a bit of a trope on this channel. We know how formidable they can be, but they scored their third goal very late in the game to give my boy here his negative decisive for 3 goals conceded. He was on a pretty good score otherwise, and so if you take away that final kind of 10 minutes of the game, he was punching up a pretty decent score, even losing 2-1, which it was at the time. But yeah, there was nowhere to turn for me and my goalkeepers. Joe Hart, of course, didn't keep a clean sheet against Motherwell with Kevin Van Veen's goal. Sean Johnson conceded 4 away to Philly, which, he was in my 220 team for a reason. Didn't think that was going to be a good match. Allblack was in my super rare 220 team, and, I didn't think he would concede 3, but against Barca, there's always that opportunity. And, he didn't do great, but he certainly didn't do terrible, considering it was Barca. But the goalkeeper I had the least faith in going into this game week was Barraza, and he rocked out a 73 with a 3-1 win at home to Dallas. And I caught the highlights. He's got some statistics for some quite fortuitous goalkeeping, it must be said. But good to see the NYCFC stat come in a big way, picking up a card and some Ethereum. And it was really a game week for the goalkeepers, because, when you're going into the game week, the reason it's always important to forecast the goalkeeper is because they are the hole at the bottom of your bucket. They're the one that's going to hemorrhage points out with goals conceded, not getting the clean sheet, whatever. So particularly when the goalkeepers start getting negative decisives, not only do you have a little hole in the bottom of the bucket, but you've then got 3 or 4, or maybe the hole gets bigger, and all the points and all the good teams you've got are just falling out the bottom end. So with all the goalkeepers I have, only Barraza scored anything anywhere near credible. Maybe maybe we could have got away with Tanny because I've got him on level 20, so we got an okay wee multiplier for him. But we had DNP Wirtz in this team as well, and I was so excited about this team. Felix Nemeka and Andy Robbo we knew were on for big matches. Johnny Russell had this decisive coming, and yeah, so unlucky with that team. But the goalkeepers, it was never going to be on for me this week. But as you've seen there, and as you've seen in a lot of these teams, I did have outfielders perform. I had a good amount of outfielders coming out of a game week, not pulling the sort of rewards that we would have wanted. Noticing and knowing and identifying that the goalkeepers, no matter what you would have done there, you would have never had a goalkeeper that would have scored well enough, except for the one Barraza, which in your heart of hearts, and for me personally, I know I would have never put him in my best team at home to Dallas, because you just never know how many goals can go in MLS, etc., etc. But I do now want to make sure I'm catching and identifying all the good calls that I made this game week in terms of the little gut hunches that I had that actually paid off. Now, we've caught a few of them as we've looked at it, and I'm not going to go over this in any major detail. It was great to see my unique McGregor bag of 100. I think McGregor's going to come onto a much better scoring range the more Iwata plays, so let's keep our eyes open for that. Haksabanovic gets 60 without a decisive, which was great to see. Angelino on a 52 with conceding 3 goals is incredible to see. Obviously, Scales made the headlines with his absolute world day, and Illich, if you see his goal, was an absolute world day as well. Wee bit lucky, I suppose, that the goalkeeper didn't save it, I guess, but some good calls made here. And also Juan Iglesias, who I thought he's probably going to play away from home. I've been watching a lot of Getafe. I can see the pattern of the team, etc. I wasn't that confident because the experts out there weren't backing it also, and so I ended up putting him in the 220 team. He didn't score that great anyway, as it happens, but good to see that some of the gut calls, I had something compelling me with Scales and Illich. I had to get them into teams. I thought that's a good game for both of them, because for some players, Scales and Illich are great examples of this. You actually want them in hard games, and I know Scales, I know they've both scored, which makes it look even better, right? But even if you take their goals away from it, and then let's imagine Scales conceded a goal, -4 points off of his AA, he's still going to have like a formidable score here. Tough matches are where players are put into actions, and good players get successful actions, and successful actions get his SO5 points, and that's what we want. 78 points here with 1 goal. He was picking up 50 points or so, 53 points on AA alone anyway. Very good game for Illich. Yeah. I mentioned it in the pre-game press conference that it feels like Nick Cushion has maybe got a bit of a rhythm going with this NYCFC team, and they did come in together. That's why I wanted to stack them. I thought we might have got a better score out of Parks and or Chanot, but good to see that NYC are ascending now, and I'm really enjoying putting them now. I will enjoy putting them now in stronger competitions, because I think they'll be able to do the business now. And yeah, like I mentioned earlier, Nemeka, Robbo, Russell, had a good feeling about all them. Even picking Mulgrew over Edward, I had a great feeling that Palace Everton game was going to be low scoring. It finished 0-0, and this was so unlucky, man. Like Soraya lost 20 points at least on the third goal going in, if not more. And Giacomakis had a wee bit of AA, and then he got booked. He got rid of it before getting subbed off. So, I should have got on the podium with this team, really, in all fairness. But hey, that's not the way the cookie crumbles. I made some swaps in the Premier League, and we managed to finish 330th. Unfortunately, we didn't break the top 300, but the trades we made in, Sam Johnson and Buendia, both of them came in, which was lovely. If I could have went into the shop and swapped Van Dijk for Robbo, I would have got a card from this, which would have been fun. And I think I did well in the MLS one as well. Yeah, so they all did kind of okay. We got into the top 5,000, which I don't know how impressive that is, really, but some good scores, and hey, it is what it is. Now, guys, this midweek, I'm looking to make up for all the balls that get dropped over the weekend. I've got 3 really good, really good shots at going out, and we're going to move up. We're going to move up. So we're trying to take some of the lessons of some of the gambles we did and didn't take, fixtures, etc., etc. Okay, so the first team I'm going to have going out this weekend is a known DNP goalkeeper, right? Iglesias, I think he plays again, right? McGinn will play. Key should play as well. We get subbed off at half-time. He's back from injury. Normally, when there's 2 fixtures a week, that kind of thing happens to Key. And Edward should start again. Away to Wolves, maybe he's got a better opportunity to score or whatever. But I couldn't get these guys into a better or a different team. And I thought this is probably a good shot to kick off Unique. There's only 1 card available. In a similar situation, I finished 3rd quite recently. So I'm crossing my fingers and toes. If Iglesias can start, all the outfield can start, then maybe we're in with a shot there. Now, I didn't pick up the Cap 240 super rare threshold this weekend, which does really hurt the club in terms of The targets we're trying to bring in now with some of the opportunities we see in the market. So we're getting another bite at the cherry this midweek to catch up on the ETH that I would have hoped and planned to have gotten this weekend here. Marcos Llorente will return from suspension. Brais Mendes missed the game, came off for the last 10 minutes or something at the weekend. So I think he'll start against Betis this midweek. And Maffeo away to Atleti, not a bad game, not a good game. Cunha at home to Palace, he scored at the weekend. Soria at home to Almeria, but he could be the highest scorer in this team. I just need 250 points, and we're picking up $200 of Ethereum, and I'm going to be pretty chuffed about that. But my number one team for the midweek, guys, this is Creme de la Creme FC Barcelona. And the 3 rare cards are level 20. The 3 rare cards are Hall of Famers at FC Barcelona, and both the super rares have got cult status here at the club already. I think this team is a midweek first place capable lineup. We've got Jan Oblak in goals at home at Mallorca. We've got Robbo away at West Ham, Gabri Vega and Enes Unal, the super rare powers. Both of them are at home and they're playing Almeria and Elche. Now for Getafe, that is, believe it or not, a relegation 6-pointer. Unal's not scored in the last 3 or 4, but he will get goals against an Almeria type. And Gabri Vega, it sounds like today, there's rumours out the deal to Real Madrid will be done, but he'll be loaned back to Celta Vigo for a further season. And Celta Vigo have some aspirations of making European football, and this is a must-win game for those aspirations. Ferran Torres played at the weekend. I'm getting pretty annoyed at Play Sharper for their Barcelona and PSG predictions. They can never guess Ferran Torres and Carlos Soler playing, even when I think they're coming in. They've got them on to play Rayo Vallecano, and I hope he would as well after scoring at the weekend. So I think this team, I think Oblak can pull in a 70 or so. Robbo can sniff amongst the 80s. Both the super rares are 80 capable with 4 multiplier. And Ferran, it really just depends on how many minutes he gets, but he could pull in a 50, he could pull in an 80. But away to Vallecano, it should be a good game for Barca. You would hope should be quite open with Vallecano needing. And then this weekend, Celtic are playing a semi-final against Rangers. And actually, if you haven't checked it out, by the way, it'll be out today. If you look at the overlap on YouTube, I'm on the Old Firm fan debate thing. Make sure to check it out if you don't already. I'll be tweeting about it and stuff, no doubt. Very excited to be a part of that. Thanks to the guys that invited me. If any of you are listening, I highly doubt it. But this weekend, there's no Celtic, and this gives me a nice glimpse into the summer, you know, for exactly how bare my teams can be with only 3 goalkeepers here. If I didn't have the European players, I'm already easily trying to work out now where the gaps might lie, and I've been busy in the market. And if you want to see the players that I've been snooping about and transferring in and out, there's still a few more pieces to be done. I'll catch you on the next video. Until then, guys, stay out of trouble. Like, subscribe, share, retweet, and all that good stuff. And yeah, this gives me a nice little glimpse into what it's going to be like in the European off-season with the 3 goalkeepers I've got. What kind of teams could I build? What sort of competitions could I realistically compete against? And it's given me some early food for thought. I've been making some trades in the market. There's still a few more for the club to be doing over the next week or so to prepare for, you know, the rest of the calendar year, really, more than anything, because as much as the Americas and the non-EU stuff covers that gap, they still play when Europe comes back as well. So we'll be getting stuck into all of that in the next video. At any point, if you did laugh, learn, or like something, I hope you liked and subscribed already. Stay out of trouble, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.